Welcome back, sock knitters. In today's short video, I just want to explain when you're knitting through the foot of the sock, how you're going to know when to stop and begin decreasing the toe. So before I do, I want to give a big shout out to my newest patron, Deb Tisdale. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. This is how I'm able to bring you videos week in, week out, all the time. So if you're interested in signing up as a patron, go check out what I'm offering for your small monthly pledge over at patreon.com/purl together. One of the most common questions that I get is, how do I know when to stop knitting through the foot section? How do I know when to begin the toe decreases? And it dawned on me a year or so ago that there really is a mathematical way to figure out exactly what row to start with. So I've adapted Lynn Ashton's rounded toe. That pattern is knitted toe up. And I just flipped it basically, but I used the same math and the same method to create a cuff down version of the rounded toe. I don't particularly care for the wedge toe, which is kind of like a trapezoid shape. It just doesn't fit my foot very well. So I'm going to show you exactly how you'll know when to stop knitting the foot based on your row gauge, or the number of rows per inch that you're knitting already. Okay, now I know maybe not everybody's ready to begin the toe yet, and that's okay. I just wanted to upload this right away so that if you are ready toward the end of the week, when the next video comes out, you'll know exactly when to begin your toe. So you'll find the written out pattern row by row down in the video description, as well as in the files of the Facebook group. And eventually, when I get myself together, I'll upload it to my website also. But partly what makes this more rounded is that we're doing the decreases initially more slowly. So rather than being every other row like your typical wedge toe, it's every third row to start with until we decrease down to 12 stitches minus what we started with. And then we'll decrease every other row, and then finally every row until we decide to Kitchener. Now you can decide when you want to do the grafting, whether that's eight stitches across or 12 or whatever you think looks best. So that's up to you. But if you're going to follow my rounded toe directions in the description down below, then you will have a specific number of rows that you're following. So I know that for a cast on of 72 stitches, this whole toe is going to take me 28 rows to knit. Well, since I know that, I can use the bottom, and I can use my handy dandy gauge, and I can measure how many rows per inch I have. So I will know exactly how many inches or how many centimeters that it takes me to knit 28 rows. So I hope that makes sense. So what you need to do first is measure, get an accurate measure of how many rows per inch that you have. Then look at the video description down below or the files in the Facebook group and determine what size you're knitting, how many cast on you have to start with, whether you're going to have 23, 26, or 28 rows to complete the toe. Now, if you're doing the standard wedge toe, if you like that better, then you can figure out the math, because you know you're going to be decreasing every other row and then every row and so forth. So the key here is just to know your rows per inch, and then you'll know exactly when to stop knitting your sock. Okay, so someone else in my family has claimed this one. So I measured their foot from standing up from heel to the longest toe, and I found that the overall measurement that I'm going to need is 10 inches. So I know that I am knitting 14 rows per inch, and it's going to take 28 rows. So I need to stop 2 inches before the end. So I'm going to continue to knit from the back of the heel until I get to 8 inches, and then I'll be ready to knit my toe decreases. Okay, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe and little bell notification if you enjoy these videos. Thanks so much for watching.